The civic society have spoken. They have given President Robert Mugabe a few hours to round off business, clear his pending file, and leave the big desk. If not, by 31st of August, if he's still in office, shutdown take 3 will follow. As Tajamuka says, end game, hatichada, hatichachka, without saying where should Mugabe go and who should take over after he has left office. This is the action plan they've given to the nation of Zimbabwe.
Mr. Jamuka, we have a process that we have called, and this process is a national shutdown that is penciled for the 31st of August 2016. In our past successive press conferences, some which were conducted here, we gave President Robert Mugabe an ultimatum to either give a trajectory as to how he is going to relinquish power and pave way for a transitional authority in the country, given the current state of our nation, which has seen virtually everything going to a standstill. I will not take much of your time, but I will take this time to introduce you to Adlife Mudzingwa, who is going to give us our press statement. Adlife Mudzingwa from Tajamuka.
Thanks very much. Guided by citizen demands for reduced roadblocks, police roadblocks, payment of civil servant salaries and bonuses on time, flexible, people-centered import policies that are outside the context of the current statutory instrument 64 of 2016, an end to the prevailing situation of police brutality, solutions to the cash crisis that are outside the context and agenda of bond notes, our missing 15 billion, and also the 10 million youth fund, the citizen demand for improvement in water service delivery, improvement in health, improvement in education, and also guided by our anti-pledge citizen statement that was issued through several actions done by different hashtags. And lastly, the deadline, like he has alluded to, that we have given up to the President of the Republic, Robert Mugabe, in terms of realizing that he has failed to superintend over the affairs of the state. On behalf of Tajamuka today, we announce a national shutdown on the 31st of August 2016. This shutdown is a correct footing in the right direction, where we are now taking a red zone as a campaign. We have seen the satanic face of the government. We have witnessed complacence to amend statutory instrument 64 of 2016. We have witnessed how ZANU-PF has continued to instill fear, to criminalize lawful protests, even those granted by the High Court, I think in line with the recent NERA demonstration. The delegitimization that is being done by the government of various hashtags that have been birthed in this nation by citizens. This includes My Zimbabwe, hashtag My Zimbabwe. It includes hashtag Zimbabwe Yadzoka, Occupy Africa Unity Square, Occupy Movement of Zimbabwe, hashtag This Flower, hashtag This Flag, as well as the new hashtag Tashinura that has been launched in Masvingo by the Wajiras of Masvingo. In line of this campaign, I want to say that it will not waste time responding to attempts to criminalize and delegitimize citizen actions. This campaign will not take time to respond to allegations that are being portrayed. We have a mandate. And what is the mandate? We will continue, as we have been mandated, to build on citizens' resolve to build a prosperous Zimbabwe. We will continue to have lawful and legal to make use of the lawful and legal rulings that have been given by our courts. And on this note, I want to also make reference to the ruling that was given on the NERA demonstration. And also, we will ride on the rights that are enshrined in our Constitution, in particular the Bill of Rights in Constitution Amendment 20. Then we will also continue to build on the bridges that have to be there between the current generation that we have of the young people and war veterans who fought for the liberation of this country. Based on all this campaign will seriously build and enhance citizen voice. It will ensure that the politics, social issues, economics of this country are corrected. We also want to take this opportunity to distance ourselves from various hoax messages that have been circulated, in particular messages relating to the banning of fuel stations. That is not our message. We therefore appeal to stakeholders of the campaign and stockholders of the campaign. We appeal to cross borders, those that are affected by Statutory Instrument 64 of 2016. We appeal to all veterans who continuously have been threatened, who continuously have been vilified by the G4 in ZANU-PF. We appeal to civil servants who have not had their pay dates on time, who have failed to access bonuses. We appeal to vendors. We understand that Zimbabwe has got a dual economy. We understand that much of the work that we have at the moment relates to informal employment. We appeal to workers in private companies. We appeal to the business community. I think the current economic situation affects the way they operate. We appeal to transport drivers. We appeal to ring marshals. We appeal to informal traders. We appeal to residents that are affected by the deteriorating social service delivery. We appeal to the young people. We appeal to the unemployed graduates. We appeal to CSOs. We appeal to progressive politicians within ZANU-PF. We also appeal to progressive political parties to heed the citizen call for a shutdown. I think in brief, that's all we have. Preparations are underway. On the 31st of August, all avenues, everything is in order, and prepare to see what the young people of this country are determined to achieve. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Adlife Mzinkwa, for that statement. Before we come to questions, I know some are eager to ask some questions, and also we have some contributions. We would want to invite the Employed Youth Organization to also give a solidarity statement.
Thank you. Right. Good day. I'm Fundai Champa, representing the Unemployed Youth Organization of Zimbabwe. Right. As the Unemployed Youth Organization, we refuse to stand idly by. This is just a chaotic environment. We cannot get away from it. A lot has just been happening. This country is not moving forward. We are on a trajectory that leads to disaster. So much promises have been made. We've been lied to a zillion times. In 2013, 2.2 million jobs were promised, and we can nicely see that under the current situation, that is never going to see the light of day. We are concerned about our brothers and sisters who are living under conditions that can be equated to the lowest depths of hell in South Africa and in other neighboring states. We refuse to stand idly by. Right. Youth are being victimized for demanding answers. All we are getting is tear gas, some evil statutory instrument. So we see that we have to do something to help Zimbabwe move forward. So in our view, the proposed shutdown and most of the proposed demonstrations are very imperative, and we are going to fully support them. We can never forget the period culminating to the June 27th presidential runoff, 2008. A lot of youth lost their lives. There was just the maiming of people, and this happened wantonly. We refuse to stand idly by. This chaotic environment and this crazy environment, it continues to litter the history of Zimbabwe. We have to clean it up. So again, we believe that the proposed shutdown is very imperative, and we are going to back it up. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, representative of Unemployed Youth Organization. I'm going to call upon Mr. Stan Zvorwadza, representing the vendors from Navusi. Mr. Zvorwadza.
I'm honored to be part of this historic event for the 31st. The message is clear. This day should remain historic, and the day must portray that Zimbabweans have said enough is enough. And as we participate in this process, we should build to greater heights. As my young brother has just alluded, we should not be deterred or discouraged by the brutalities of the state. We stand forth clear in mind, clear on the heart, that the fight is on, and the fight kind of like started, and the peaceful fight will end the game. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Zvorwadza from Navusi. Right, I'm sure for our solidarity messages we are done. I then take this opportunity to invite questions from members of the media. Yes, Makama.
You talk about a shutdown. I would want you to clarify, is this some stay away or it's a project whereby people will be marching from somewhere to somewhere? Just the clarification on that.
Okay, I'll take more before Zimba can respond. I'll take more questions here.
I would want to know what will happen if you have actually said Mugabe should step down by 31 August. What will happen if he does not step down?
Okay. Chidende?
Okay, thank you very much. Are you going to do this one in installments, or is something that will be continuous? Maybe from 31st up until that it goes, or you do it on the 31st, then you take a break, then you do it again.
Okay, so I'll give the opportunity for responses to those three, then we'll take another round.
Thanks very much. On the issue of the shutdown, whether it is going to be staying at home or action, it will be both. There will be people will not come to town; they will stay at home, but there will be actions in within constituencies, is what happened in the last shutdown. So it will be both. Then relating to what happens if the president does not step down, I think I want to first state that when we gave him demands, it was our expectation that you reason logically. And after realizing that there is no logic, and actually self-reasoning is like sort of suspended on him, what we have done is to provide a correct footing for our next step. So we will continue to engage in action. We'll continue to engage in action. I don't think, from our own perspective, we can reach December whilst he, in line with constitutional provisions. I also want to inform you that, remember, we also have a constitutional court challenge in terms of his capacity to continue superintending over the affairs of the state. So all those avenues, we have the confidence that definitely you will take up a heed to citizens' call. And I want to also reference you to previous initiatives where you would say you will not talk to anyone before the 2008 elections, but ultimately he was drawn to the negotiating table, kicking and crying. So it will happen. Then, based on the issue of continuity, how are we going to ensure that there is continuity? Every week, starting from mid-September, every week there will be action. Serious action. And already, like I've said, in Masvingo, they have launched #Tasvinuro. Those that have been blind in terms of the social ills, those that have been blind in terms of the economic ills and political ills of this nation, those are initiatives. They will come from provinces. This will not be central. Citizens will continue to ensure that that continuity will be there. As long as all the issues that we have alluded to have not been addressed, the continuity of any campaign is not something that we need to doubt. I alluded to the fact that we don't have time to actually respond to empty threats. But since you have raised the issue, and it seems like from your own perspective, it might be an issue, let me just inform you that the young people in this nation have been very patient for a long time. They've suffered for a long time. They will not allow any unruly elements. They will not allow the Jim Kunagas of this world to continue doing what is they used to do. Remember, this person who is issuing this statement in the previous months deserted ZANU-PF. His conscience inside tells him that things are not good. So we don't have, in brief, I would just say, as I've alluded to, we don't have time to actually talk about empty threats that are being made. Remember, they've done that even within their own political party. They threatened war veterans. They threatened even the other faction, the so-called the Lacoste. So, on our perspective, it's not an issue that we will sit and then try to deliberate on. We'll continue as we've planned. But mechanisms in terms of ensuring that citizens will have security, they are there.
So you are prepared for the confrontation?
Not confrontation. Like I've said, we have need to protect our mothers, our fathers, and the young people. We are not a violent campaign. So we will not involve ourselves in violence. I think I have also made it very clear that the works messages that are being circulated are not part of us. That is very clear. Then in terms of abductions, I will not speak on behalf of actions done by NERA. But on the number of people that have been abducted, number of people that have been affected soon after that incident, we have a legal and social welfare committee. Unfortunately, the representative is not here. But in terms of numbers, we've got 65 people who are incarcerated. Abductions, we had Ostalos, we had Maide in Glenview, we had Councillor Chakaredza. Those are some of the incidents of what happened. But I think those who were also following up soon after the abduction of Ostalos, the quick response that we did, helped by even those that are in the diaspora, peaceful, and all of you, all of us, not only Tajamuka, and even other social movements, the information that came, the phone calls that were made to those that abducted him, it led to his release and also him being handed over to the police. So those are some of the also peaceful avenues that we will continue to pursue. On the SADC initiative, I think we do have an international relations committee, but we also need to be complemented by those that had also experience in terms of regional advocacy. And we've since engaged CSOs to help on that initiative. This is a campaign, and it is mainly driven by citizens. So there are also technical arrangements that have to be made in terms of advocacy at regional level. So we will be complemented by other comrades. We cannot come here to claim that we know everything and will be doing everything. So collaborations will be the way to go in terms of ensuring that we, beyond even the regional bloc, we also engage the international initiative.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel, ZimDI TV News, and be the first to receive breaking news and stories making headlines. And also subscribe to our website, ZimDITVnews.com, and never miss a story.